Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. With Call of Duty Vanguard not too far away now, there's been a lot of discussion as to how exactly the LAN League for next season could be executed. Is a bubble possible? Do some players still not want to do it? Hex and Zuma certainly have some words to say on the matter. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you are new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. I've already upset the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. First of all, this I thought was very interesting indeed that Modern Warfare 2 Ghost points out Sledgehammer Games have sent this survey out to select people after playing the Vanguard beta. I didn't get it unfortunately, but maybe some of you guys have, so check your emails for this one. They've asked you to pick the top 3 features you'd like to be interested in seeing revealed before launch. So a lot of things right here, so as you can see, I'll scroll down through it real quick. So I didn't get this email, but if you guys did, you can see one of them is competitive/league play. We love to see it, ladies and gents. We think this year that the competitive side is actually going to be relatively reasonable. I'm certainly hoping that Sledgehammer definitely have their eyes tuned in on competitive play. It seems like that is the case. That is exciting, but still, it's going to take a lot of us to vote for this type of stuff and make things happen. But there's a lot to talk about right here. So these are all the things that you can vote for and kind of give your support to. And this is some of the discussion. As you can see, Chrome points it out. Check your email, vote for competitive/league play. But there's also other things you can vote for, which could be good, very good indeed for competitive play. For example, as Ghost of Hope points out, high tick rate servers, for example, when you see it. Of course, hopefully, if they do high tick rate servers, that's not just for regular public matches, but also for custom games as well. That's going to be a big deal for challengers players, especially who don't get access to the special pro servers that apparently always have 60 Hz nowadays that they can somehow still play on. It's kind of strange what's happened the last couple of years, the separation in that sense, but still, at least that's been a positive thing for the pro scene. But still, if the developers are really thinking about and listening to our reaction here, which is incredible to hear, to be honest, first of all, like that it would even do like a poll type survey situation like this, but if they hear a lot of feedback in favor of competitive play and league play, and also for high tick rate servers and stuff, maybe they'll actually go and try and execute on these things, which is very exciting. So this is how it looks. Select your top 3 aspects of Call of Duty Vanguard, and yeah, this gentleman goes for top 3, all trying to be league play, but unfortunately they won't let him do it. But yeah, still, you can't really complain about stuff like this. Them giving us the opportunity to give some feedback. This from Detained I thought was kind of funny as well. Thanks for the heads up, Lifesaver. This is also another part of the survey. Indicate how satisfied you were with the multiplayer maps, and Red Star gets the very dissatisfied #1 on the list out of 10, which yeah, maybe means they'll take it out, or maybe they'll just discard the survey for being too much of a hater or something. It is somewhat tough to say. But this, of course, is what Slasher and other players that most certainly have been talking about the last several days. It's a MajorManiak ages ago. LAN only next year, please. The World Championship ends, then it's like, okay, well, hopefully the online stuff is absolutely over forever in Call of Duty. The problem is, if you're going to do a LAN league in its entirety, there are some questions about making that work right. Is it going to be as simple as just like doing what we used to do back in the day at the MLG studios in Columbus, sending the players out there for a couple of weeks and, just making the LAN league happen? Do you have to think about like quarantining and making sure everything is okay from that side of things? Maybe it's something you do. Last year when we went online, there was a lot of talk about the possibility of a bubble. Could they do some sort of bubble where all the pros are isolated from their family members and their friends and their dogs and whatever, and making sure like everything is very well sealed so you can do a proper LAN league. The problem is, of course, this year with the format that they had is that there's games Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, then you have like 3 days off, and then you go again Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday again, and you do that 3 weeks in a row. Then you've got a major. And of course, the majors are going to be on LAN, like we can almost guarantee that one, but whether the league itself is going to be on LAN is another question mark, because you can't really do the format that they did for the online league this year in a LAN environment if you have to worry about like a bubble situation, right? Because you don't want the pro players to be stuck in a room for like 3 weeks straight to play matches Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, then they can finally leave to go to an event, and then straight after that they're back in the room again, isolating or whatever the case may be. It's really tough to say how exactly you make this work. Maybe you have to like do the bubble before for a couple of weeks and just cram a load into that week, and then hopefully have some events outside of that. It's a big question mark how you make this work. Of course, another big question mark is whether players even want to go through with this. Of course, we saw Los Angeles Thieves recently saying they're pretty confident that it is going to be the case that we are going to be returning to LAN, and hopefully we can get a LAN league to work. And Kenny's very confident the fact that, yeah, if we don't have fans there, then we can 100% make it work, because we did it, of course, for this year with Major 4 being on LAN, Major 5 then, and the World Championship also having fans in attendance. So they were very optimistic, it seemed, about the prospect of it going down this route. But of course, there has been a fair bit of discussion about some players who don't necessarily want to make this happen. We saw this last year from Chrome potential bubble system for the 2021 season in Las Vegas or Dallas, which didn't end up going through. But to be fair, I think there was a fair bit of discussion about it, but some pros just weren't so convinced that they wanted to spend all this time in a bubble. And you certainly understand that, right? Given that, they've got family, they've got friends, they've got a life they want to lead, don't necessarily want to be stuck inside a system like this. At the same time, there also has been talk about the great content that would come out of something like this. Put all the pro players together in a situation like that, film it, record it, like Big Brother style, if you guys for the UK know that reference, and we may have an absolutely phenomenal show of content on our hands. But players like Scump, for example, and other players as well, were just not keen at all on a potential CDL bubble and having to go away from a family cat, all this type of stuff, and it totally makes a lot of sense. But at the same time, if it doesn't mean that you actually get LAN play at the highest level, then the pros have, maybe you could argue, no one else but themselves to blame if they don't want to go down this route and make this happen. Of course, there's the questions that Crimsix has been raising as well in the last few days on the timeline, and well, this is what Hex and Zoom have to say on the flank, or the Thieves on podcast, talking about some of the flank's best moments a few days ago, and Hex and Zuma have some words to say on the matter about why Hex thinks that, we should go ahead and try and make this bubble work. That didn't happen last year, but Zuma's like, well, a lot of players, well, at least some players, certainly do not want to go through with it.
What do you think about what do you think about the bubble that's now back up for to talk about, like the player bubble?
Oh, like they're talking about that?
Well, I mean, everyone's not the league or me. No, I just saw videos where like the bubble and how I was watching one of your videos actually. It was either clips or whatever where people are like, I do a bubble. Oh, maybe it wasn't you. It was the LA Thieves podcast or something. But they were like, would you do a bubble? And like, yeah, I do a bubble. Like, and I regret not doing a bubble last year when we did the online stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody's here, and if we are able to, which we are, to test everybody before they go into the thing, like I do think that we can solve the issue of that. The amount of facilities that are here in Dallas, and I've said this a bunch of times, I think that now more than ever there is an opportunity to, if we don't have LANs or fan attended LANs, that we can still have LANs because people will know to chill the f out. I'm not saying send people off to a 3-week camp, but I think that if we put our brains together, I think that we could figure out a way to where we could have a LAN league if we need to, where there's no fans.
Yeah.
But you see football, you see...
but some players just don't want to do it.
Yeah, but
but they might have to.
My thing is this, right? Like, obviously, football's back in full force. Everybody's attending. NBA, baseball, like, they're all kind of open up, so the conversations on whether or not we are going to be able to should stop. Like, we know that we're going to be able to have fan attended LANs because traditional sports has it, and if they can do it, then we can do it. Obviously their resources and their bottomless pit of money like allows them to be more fluid in the way that they do things, but I think that I don't see an issue why we don't have like LAN all next year.
Yeah, we could definitely make it happen for sure. I've heard some rumors. I mean, I don't want to say it on here because you're good. Information. But I think we'll be on LAN for most of the events. I just don't know how the league matches and stuff. Like, I don't know how it's gonna work next year. I have no idea. I've heard some rumors, but
so this is what happened before this season kicked off when Hex came out and said, look, there'll be no bubble for next year. Teams will be required to play in the same facility, which was pretty much the case. But even then, like, the CDL didn't always completely enforce that, right? There were certainly some teams that played in different locations. There was still talk about the Florida Mutineers kind of Bermuda Triangle of hosting situations that they had going on there. But lots of talk really about well, could we do a bubble for next year? What would it take for it to happen? And to be honest, I think if they were to do this, it probably would be like relatively short bubbles for smaller periods, and then like cramming a load of matches into that time period, which maybe isn't honestly the best viewing experience. You've got to think about it from that perspective. And the CDL might also be thinking about watch time and thinking, wow, we did really well this past season going for league matches Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, because we got watch time every single day. Like, a fair few people tuned in every single day, and therefore in terms of like average viewer duration or whatever that they can show to the sponsors, they're actually looking pretty damn good. Now, if you do a bubble and you have to cram a load of things into a shorter time period, and you're not streaming any matches for a couple of weeks, then that affects that kind of business side of things and what kind of metrics you can look at. So there's many different sides to this. At the end of the day, we want to be on LAN. I think a lot of the pro players would be like, yes, okay, I'll do whatever it takes to get back to a LAN environment, especially the likes of Octane and Slash and other players like that have had such a hard time online the last couple of years. But if some players, like if one player doesn't agree to it, then what do you do? Do you have to cancel the entire situation? Are they forced to go through with it? Like, it's really tough to say exactly how that works. I'm not 100% sure how it's worked in other sports. Maybe you don't even need to do a proper bubble anymore with the situations it's going, especially if you do it in Texas. Like, maybe it's just a free fall and you do what you want. Of course, I can certainly understand pro players being hesitant to, let's just say they were like, okay, we're just going to lock you away for 6 weeks and you're going to play all your online league matches. Then we're going to finally let you out and play a couple of major tournaments or whatever. Then you have to go back into the bubble. I can understand pro players wouldn't be particularly happy with with that. I think if there is a fair bit of talk about this Black Ops 4 style CWL-esque league, then it would be great if we had a kind of situation where there's maybe less league matches and they have less importance this year, and therefore like whatever bubble you have to do, if at all, isn't so much of a big deal, and it's mainly like you just do a load of events throughout the season, like at least 6 events throughout the year, that the league matches that are going on in the background kind of help with seeding for, but aren't integral to as they were with the major, and therefore you don't have to worry about those winners bracket buys, and you just use the seedings to determine which teams go into what groups, as opposed to just doing the massive bracket buys that we saw this year with the major tournaments in the format that was going in. I'm sure the pros have had their feedback for the league. Whether the league listens to what they have to say, that of course is another question mark. Thought I'd finish off with a couple of things. This from Sky's a nice little player card right here. Harpon especially was pretty phenomenal this year. Sky's towards the end of the year was really, really good indeed on the Mutineers, and it's a big surprise to me, to be honest, if they are building around Sky's and keeping Awakening and keeping Havoc there as well and bringing Yeez in. I think it's going to be tough to see that as an upgrade, but maybe that's just the Florida Mutineers way at the present time of building in this sense. This I thought as well I'd mention here from Claystickers. Halo confirmed they were, well, their #1 Halo player of all time. This would be incredible if Call of Duty went down a similar route and confirmed that, well, it went through their top 25 players of all time and did a list like this. But, you know, the Ogre duo right here, of course, Ogre 2 with 40 major event wins, just ridiculous stuff. And as Clayster says, like, Crimsix definitely has something on his back to try and take that record down, but it's going to be difficult. And as Clay says, the Ogres were the reason I even got into competitive gaming in the first place. Me and my brother tried to model what they did on stage and in game. Can't say enough for what Ogre 2 did to change the course of my life. Eternally grateful for the trailblazers that came before us. And of course, I'm sure Clayster has done that to many players in Call of Duty after the fact as well. So just crazy to see how esports history goes. And of course, Halo's coming out relatively soon. Definitely Call of Duty is going to have to stay on top of things to make sure it doesn't lose any players the other way around. But very much intrigued to your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd really appreciate a like on the video. Really upset the YouTube algorithm. I know you enjoyed this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well. And I've grown the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you very much as always. Take care. And I will see you next time.